During this holiday season, give your loved ones a gift that keeps on giving for the rest of their life. Torpedo Pot is the only affordable self-growing flower pot that ensures your future food survival. All you do is add soil, seeds, and seedlings to the flower pot and watch your plants grow. Torpedo Pot can grow nutritious food in such abundance and variety that you can produce more food than your local farm. Visit www.torpedopot.com.
Why are foreign countries scrambling to set up military bases in Africa? Is this the second scramble for Africa? Sometime last year, media reports claimed that a covert Kenyan paramilitary team was responsible for unconstitutional killing of terror suspects in nighttime raids. The reports are based on interviews with US and Kenyan diplomatic and intelligence officials. The team was trained, armed, and supported by US and British intelligence officers. It has been reported that since 2004, a Central Intelligence Agency program has been operational in Kenya without public scrutiny. For its part, the British Secret Intelligence Service has played the key role of identifying, tracking, and fixing the location of targets. This has drawn renewed attention to the reality of widespread foreign security operations in Africa. Several African governments are hosting foreign military bases. This is despite the African Union Peace and Security Council's ongoing concerns about the rapid increase of foreign military bases on the continent. The AU is also concerned about its inability to monitor the movement of weapons and from those military bases. Regardless, a host of bilateral agreements between AU member states and foreign power underlie the spread of foreign military forces across the continent. At least 13 foreign powers have substantial military presence on the continent. The US and France are at the forefront of conducting operations on African soil. Moreover, private military groups are active in several conflict zones on African soil. Northern Mozambique is the most recent case. This dynamic coincides with the claims that Russian MiG-26 and Su-24 warplanes have now conducted missions in Libya in support of the claiming-backed private military forces to extend Moscow's influence in Africa. Currently, the US is reported to have 7,000 military personnel on rotational deployment in Africa. These troops carry out joint operations with African forces against extremists or jihadists. They are hosted in military outposts across the continent, including Uganda, in South Sudan, Senegal, Niger, Gabon, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In addition, 2,000 American soldiers are involved in training missions in 40 African countries. American Special Forces operate across East Africa in the so-called forward operation locations in Kenya and Somalia. Like the US, France has also deployed military forces and established bases in a number of African countries. The country has more than 7,500 military personnel currently serving on the continent. Its largest presence is the Sahel, especially in the border zone linking Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. The presence of foreign military forces in Africa is not limited to Western powers. China has been particularly active with its military presence in the Horn of Africa. It has become more engaged since 2008 when it participated in the multinational anti-piracy mission in the Gulf of Aden. Since then, China has maintained an anti-piracy naval presence in the Horn of Africa and the Gulf of Aden. Between 2008 and 2018, the Chinese Navy deployed 26,000 military personnel in a variety of maritime security operations. In 2017, China inaugurated its first overseas military base in Djibouti. This came after the US established Camp Rebano in Djibouti in 2003. Rebano was established along French, Italian, Spanish, German, and Japanese bases. China has developed a 36-hectare military facility to host several thousands of Chinese troops and provide facility for ships, helicopters, and fixed-wing aircraft. China's military base in Djibouti was set up to support 5 mission areas. These are counter-piracy in the Gulf of Aden, intelligence collection on the countries, non-combat evacuation of Chinese citizens in East Africa, international peacekeeping operations where Chinese soldiers are deployed, and counter-terrorism operations, they say. India is another Asian nation that has increased its naval presence in Africa. The country has established a network of military facilities across the Indian Ocean to counter China's rising military footprint in the region. It also wants to protect its commercial sea lanes for piracy. India has an ongoing deployments that monitor development in the Horn of Africa and Madagascar. The country has plans to establish 32 coastal radar surveillance stations with sites in the Seychelles, Mauritius, and other locations outside of Africa. When it came to the Middle East, Turkey and the United Arab Emirates are the 2 countries with a notable military presence in Africa as well. Turkey joined the International Counter-Piracy Task Force of the Somali coast in 2009. In 2017, it opened a military base in Mogadishu, Somalia. The purpose is to train and recruit for the Somali National Army. Turkey is also said to support the Somali Navy and Coast Guards. The UAE has had a military base in Eritrea since 2015. It comprises a military airfield with aircraft shelter and a deep water naval port. The base has been used in operations against opposition forces in Yemen. It is clear that the Horn of the epicenter of foreign military activity is Africa. Foreign troops have been deployed there to counter threats to international peace, control terror groups and pirates, and support foreign security initiatives. But there are other motivations to establishing military bases in Africa. These include protection of commercial interests, aligning with friendly regimes, and expressing dominance on the continent that is the focus of rising global competition. For some observers, it might seem like foreign governments are exposing their militaries on Africa, but in fact, many African governments are keen to host them. Bilateral agreements with major powers generate income for African states. The opening of China's military base in Djibouti in a case point. Most of Djibouti's economy relies on Chinese debt. The presence of foreign military forces has also played a significant role in fighting terror groups. These include groups like Al-Shabaab in East Africa and the jihadists in Mali. This explains why several African countries are willing to turn to foreign governments for advice, intelligence, and support. But there is a downside to the presence of foreign forces to the continent. For instance, the African security landscape has become overcrowded by multiplicity of foreign security and military activities. These activities often function at a cross purpose. The competition among some of the world's power has been highlighted by the increasing presence of Asian power. China's expanding presence in Djibouti has caused concern. Its influence in Africa and the Indian Ocean has ruffled feathers within Japanese and Indian political and security circles. A Chinese monopoly could impede their engagement with the continent. And finally, African countries have not agreed on how to regulate foreign security and military activities. The approach so far has been disjointed. Though Africa's peacekeeping capacity has increased significantly, the AU is still highly dependent on external funding and resources for its peacekeeping operations. It does not have the freedom to take independent strategies, operational and even tactical decisions in its operations. So as long as the shortcomings exist in Africa's response to armed conflict, foreign militaries and intelligence services will come to operate on the continent. These are matters that have to be addressed before African states can head the AU Peace and Security Council's concern about existence of foreign military involvement in the continent. Ultimately, the African Union and Africa's leaders must make sure that when it's all said and done, the African citizens are the ones that must be the beneficiaries of all investments in Africa, and they are not indebted to no one from outside, no matter who is allowed to plant a base on the continent, and the AU must create one military for all of Africa. This is not helping Africa. Neocolonialism is an emerging problem in Africa. Our greedy leaders are just signing deals that are not helping the socio-economic of our continent. We need a win-win situation, not the ones that we are seeing. African countries should mandate strict laws of the land stipulating that Africa is not for sale. Africans should make economic deals at a world level. If you don't want our deal, you just go somewhere else. Brothers and sisters, what do you think of the increasing number of military bases in Africa? Let me know down in the comment section. My name is Osie The Born Child. I'll be seeing you in another video. Until then, love you all. Take care.
Colonization never ended in the white supremacist system. And as we see today, the colonization is in the mind. Now, those who have been enslaved and those who have been colonized, we're still dealing with the remnants of that through the colonization of the mind. Pick up my book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, and we will help deprogram you from the colonization that was put upon you by generations and generations of white supremacy. You can pick it up today on Amazon.com.